Bet you thought I forgot about this, huh? Baked us a fluffy contrast souffle. Here's hoping it tastes good. We all know the fruits of Alpha Dream's labor. Comedy, hilarity, silly moments that keep us rolling on the floor. It's a signature flavor the Mario series desperately needed. But the comedy we all know and love is paired alongside another element the series needed. Darkness. These 4 games are not all silly, stupid shit. They're written so well, it reeks of multiple feels. My personal favorite being the ones with intensity. So, contrary to what you might have expected, hopping off the Rafflecopter for a little bit. Here's the other side of the coin. Just a heads up. Spoilers everywhere! Just in case you didn't chime in about like a day ago, I finally exposed the true reason I love Fawful. Spoilers, it's because of how gripping and successful of a villain I find him to be. Not only is he a bigger threat than Bowser could ever be, but his development as a baddie is still very powerful to me. Even if you don't agree with my stance on him, you know him to be a threat you can never get rid of. And he's not gone. He's out there, somewhere, thinking, plotting. But while we await his inevitable re-rise, I'm going to take you back to the past. To a good game, actually. The first in the series, and Fawful's debut. Aside from being frickin' fantastic, Superstar Saga loves to mislead us. Fawful's actions not only helped, but they dominated the plot's progression. He destroyed airships, consistently halted your progress, saw through nearly every trick you tried to pull, and even freed Cackletta from mortality. By the 3rd time he did something like this, it was clear who the real main antagonist was. But the only thing scarier than a successful figure of power is when the figure becomes self-aware. By the game's end, Fawful starts to realize the situation. He now knows damn well that he doesn't need Cackletta. Realizing what he's capable of doing, the grinning menace performs a sort of self-tribute, frolicking in a weird outfit, acting eccentric, and readying himself for the future. He attempts to fight you, but loses due to a faulty invention. Through a miracle, he survived the deadly fall. In Partners in Time, you're actually able to find his hideout, but only as the babies. Here, he splays out a lament. He tells of a time where he terrorized the neighboring country with his furious genius. Seems like nothing more than a recollection of the glory days. But there's more. He also sheds light on the red and green mustaches that ruined his reign, expressing dismay and pain to the memories of being clobbered by boots and hammers. By the end of it all, he swears to return, birthing an era in which, to quote him, no baby's candy will have safety. How often do you hear a Mario character of any kind personally venting about something like this? Vengeance, bitterness, a will to dominate other lives. And it all centers on his personal resentment for your kingdom. Notice that he doesn't even bring up Cackletta in any sort of fashion, as if he's well aware of his mark on these games. When you stop to consider these words of his and what he means, it strikes a shard of gloom in the mind. It steps beyond sulking in acidic tears. It's what happens when someone feels hurt, inadequate, and won't stand to forget what's happened. This brief little moment, paired alongside his original stand, is a personal favorite of mine. The glum fragments of text paint Fawful as a seeker of well-clarified vengeance. In that sense, I feel the character is a very realistic villain. His motives are somewhat relatable to a human receptor, and the fact that we actually hear it in his words, it's succulent icing to a cake of rhetoric. Oh, don't worry, we'll be getting a piece of this cake later. If you've noticed, I generally don't enjoy themes that flick on the depression. I hate watching stuff like Titanic, I try to avoid news channels, and I certainly try and distance myself from experiencing it firsthand. Not the easiest thing, but let me tell you, they hit something hard with this place. In a cool stretch of irony, this very village, named Holly Jolly, very clearly the right name. Look at the name, look at the thing. Is it a fucking joke? Great, now I feel shitty. What's Jolly mean again? Happy? Yeah, even Pac-Man's blowing through tissues. There ain't nothing happy about this fuckness. The houses have been destroyed, the trees chopped, and it's eerily desolate. Even though we all know the answer, it's the type of sight one can't help but ask. What the hell happened here? Well, the answer is twofold. The likeliest answer would be that Alpha Dream wanted to pull an experiment. One that, if successful, would polarize their famous brand of tone recognition. It sure as fuck worked. Instead of the lulls and cheery tone we expect from Mario and Luigi, we get the reverse opposite. This scene in the narrative is effective for very good reasons. For one, it paints us a proper picture of our shrewd enemies. A colony of outsiders that live a depressing existence of destroy, destroy, destroy. I don't think of them as aliens anymore, but more as disheveled husks of forgotten feeling. They wasted this once bustling town filled with people as if it were an anthill. The game very much suggests that the Shroobs kill people. In fact, we see it happen. The last Toad seen alive in Holly Jolly is the mayor, which the bros discover he hid in the chimney just to survive the invasion. Okay guys, this is some pretty dark satire you got going on. This whole town is one big figurative kick to the holly jolly nads of Christmas itself. The town is clearly decorated properly. The mayor of the city hid in a chimney to survive, dimly mirroring a trait of Santa Claus. And if you think that wasn't nearly enough, listen to the music. Oh my god, it's Jingle Bells! Was this time in the past set just before Christmas? Oh god, that's fucked up. I do hope I speak for some others when I say this, but Bowser's Inside Story's starting tone is deceptively creepy. It's the first time ever in a Mario game where the starting catalyst is very serious in tone, and something that plagues reality severely. Disease. Yes. The game starts up with a medical epidemic brought to the kingdom's attention. A mysterious disease dubbed as the Blorbs have been spreading violently throughout the Toad population, which inflates the poor things to crippling sizes. A mix of elephantitis and paralysis befalling innocent little mushroom denizens is a very grim way of starting your fairy tale. The pandemic becomes so dire that kingdom executives have no choice but to join hands and desperately search for a solution. Peach, the Toad elders and doctors, Starlo, and of course the bros are all summoned for a meeting. What's unnerving is how the executives react to the disease. All of them are baffled by the Blorbs. No cure is known, and even Starlo is unable to remedy such a thing. But here's where the tension kicks up. Toadbird identifies that all the infected toads ate a dodgy breed of mushroom before ballooning up. The only lead they have is a word of a shady figure clad in a cape of some sort, selling the stuff. And all claim that he's not from the Mushroom Kingdom at all. So, we've got a mysterious bogey in our midst. A foreign contaminator, crippling the country's population into a submissive scare. Okay, first disease, and now a subtle act of terrorism. All the while, nobody has a clue on how to act on it. Toadsworth resorts to the only instinct a standard Mario aficionado would have. Certainly, it's the doing of Bowser somehow. But, uh-oh, Bowser crashes the meeting, rightfully feeling insulted of not having summons on an issue plaguing his home. A tutorial battle is fought, Bowser's thrown out, Mario gets lip, but still no answer to the mystery. All the signs finally point in the direction of clarity when taking control of Bowser in the woods. It's all a throwaway. I can feel it in my spectacles. The mystery invader is close. Did you see that? Rewind. Is that? No, it can't be. Yay! Oh my god. Bowser, run away. Now! Wait, what's he doing? Oh god, don't do it! Now you taste the signs. Shady figure, cape, merchant, alien of the kingdom. He's back. Cue the shock. I was seriously unnerved by this opening. When you really start to analyze the situation presented, its theming is awfully dark. Disease and terrorism. Obviously not the kind of things that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Its place in the Mario and Luigi timeline is very well utilized. By the time the third game came to be, the general bulk of us believed Fawful's core significance was withered away for years. And even to those who managed to find him hidden in Partners in Time, I'd bet my prettiest flaming hat that you thought it meant very little. It's this mysterious sense of forlorn security that makes this reveal so shocking. It makes me happy, unsettled, and pumped in that intense chill that only your favorite bad guy can give. I never once got why everyone pokes fun at Dream Team's story with a flaming shtick. It's said to be sluggish, littered with too much filler, and overall disjointed in its focus. I don't agree, as I feel it's merely injecting a little bit of creativity into the run-of-the-mill Mario fable. It involves Bowser crashing the entourage's vacation abruptly, aiming to steal a princess for himself. Never seen that before! But soon, he meets Phantasma, the new antagonist. After proper persuasion, Phantasma forms a pact of alliance with Bowser, which is shown to be a match made in the underwear. Phantasma wishes solely for his freedom, and it's the same shit again with Bowser. I love where this partnership started going. Phantasma intensely admires Bowser's real-world strength, while Bowser admires Phantasma's dream-world strength. It leads to mainly Bowser getting what he wants, which is damn near everything, and Phantasma playing the support buddy role. Hell, Phantasma doesn't even care about Peach. He simply loves his partner in crime. At about the moment you reach the end of Neo Bowser Castle, it's just about time for the two villains to finally... Oh, hell nah! You're kidding, right? I can only imagine how the reception towards the scene alone went. One of the biggest twists in Mario history. I'm sure this supplied Bowser with a couple million fan letters copy-pasting "Way to go!" and another few millions bolded "You fucking bitch!" This is one of those rare instances in games where I feel multiple disjointed emotions. It makes me feel proud of Bowser and Nintendo at the same time for calling our tiresome bluff. They knew that we expected him to fall prey at the last minute, but twisted it in a way that looked handsome on the Koopa King. But then there was one. Phantasma is left crushed and hopeless, betrayed by what was built up to be a very believable villainous friendship. Now, there's nothing left for him. No Dreamstone, possibly no reason to live on anymore. All that's left is to lay waste to his adversary and take the bros and Bowser down. Mario and Luigi may have unwittingly saved Bowser's life in the process, because I'm fairly certain Phantasma would have murdered him. This whole ending chapter for the Bat King signifies what betrayal can do to a villain in action. Not to seek vengeance for personal sustenance, but to wipe the entire memory into oblivion. Where did you boys go wrong?
If they ever show their faces again, you know what to do.
Yes, tell them to wash with a loofah sponge.
I want them eliminated!
You know, maybe we can look at the glasses half full.
Ow!
That's what I like to do.
Ah, putting a happy face on things, I see. What an interesting philosophy. At what point did you forget that we're trying to take over the world?
Well shit. A part of me feels Phantasma knew he would lose to Mario, and thus merely desired to give a memorable last stand. You sure did, buddy. Sure did. While the most celebrated tone of these games are indeed the humor elements, I found that the next prevalent are the moments of impending suspense, which appropriately climaxes at the very end. Now, since most of these feel very much like a splayed out level with the final boss lurking at the end, I won't be fending for all of them, as only one of them truly feels like the grandest event of all. The finale of Bowser's Inside Story, which I dub Kingdom's End. This is just a gloomy sight. Breaking the tradition of the game's end located in Bowser's domain, the final trial Fawful has set up for you resides in a place of forlorn memories. Peach's usurped castle, though it's quite different from the good memories. It's quiet, ominously quiet. No friends are wandering around anywhere, and the good feel theme it once had is placed under a somber, foreboding score. The place is all but lively. At this point in the story, Bowser has been turned on by his own elite trio and shoved into a cramped safe. So, you enter in first as the brothers, sneaking around the desolate courtyards, fighting the toughest enemies yet, meanwhile doing your damnedest to venture deeper. It's only when you encounter and scrap with Fawful's Junker robot is when things pick up. We find out where the safe is stashed, and restore Bowser's injured back, gaining the means to infiltrate. Eventually, Bowser manages to impede on the evil duo's plan. Fawful outright takes control of the dilemma, and stalls Bowser with an empowered Blizzard Midbis to fight. Bowser barely wins, just in time for the Dark Star to awaken. So excited, Fawful immediately saps the artifact of most of its energy, which Bowser cuts short. A wise tactic, but merely split the issue in two. The Dark Star voluntarily enters Bowser's body and hastily invades his breathing cavity. It's at this point where things become scary. An ancient evil is inside of Bowser, replicating his DNA to generate a like specimen. The bros are tasked with stopping it at all costs, but only manage to annoy it. Dark Bowser is born, a cruel phantasm which only seeks wholeness. Feeling cheated, Bowser gives chase, but only runs into Dark Fawful, whom is so fed up with your meddling, he seeks the entire castle on you. The final giant battle is fought, and the structure is neutralized, allowing Bowser to re-enter and confront Dark Fawful face to face. Another epic battle. Bowser may have won, but Fawful initializes the final move in his plan, uniting with this coveted power source, completing the darkness. Now is where we see the grandest clash between the two biggest villains of the franchise settle the final dispute. Who gets to live on? The legendary main cast or the Mushroom Realm's Dark Ring Master? I may have been walking you through the best chunk of this fantastic game, but I find the effectiveness of its final hours to be an entirely new standard for the series. For the first time in forever, the finality of a Mario game feels as though it musters a new breed of lasting power. When I address this as Kingdom's End, I truly meant it. Every single thing you know and love about the franchise lore is one step away from being lost forever. The Mushroom World is conquered, every trope has been flipped on its side, and sworn rivals of our childhood team up to repel the truest evil. It really feels as though do or die is on your head. There's nothing left. All you can do is fight for your home. This feels like a perfected touch-up from the finale of Thousand Year Door, where an evil just as great is united with story fragments tying together the main series continuity. Bowser's here. Both bros are here. Peach is on the edge of death, and the fate of your world is on its toes. Even more so than Fate of the Universe, this feels unbelievably eventful. I dare say, I think it's good enough to end the franchise. No, holding no regrets. Thanks for tuning in. We've only got one more stop to go.